The Northern Territory is home to one of the world's last untouched tropical savannas. That fragile landscape and its rivers are now the new frontier for the nation's cotton industry. But satellite images suggest land clearing is taking place without a permit, raising questions about the Territory government's oversight. This report from Roxanne Fitzgerald and producer Hannah Meagher.
It's sometimes described as Australia's last frontier. A sunburnt tapestry of tropical savanna and free-flowing rivers. But large-scale agriculture is making its mark here, sometimes without permission.
If you're talking about 1,000 or 2,000 hectares of broadacre crop, then I think cotton is the king.
A lot of this stuff is going on out of sight and out of mind.
Who is the watchdog here?
Daphne Huddlestone is a Waggaman ranger and traditional owner who knows this country like the back of her hand.
We usually walk down the river, here. Get some bush tucker, get some fish.
Tell me where to go.
Just follow the road, the main access road.
In July 2021, Daphne made a troubling discovery.
Good, young lady, you're doing good.
Hectares upon hectares of land flattened to make way for a new lucrative crop.
The family used to work out here a long time ago, back in the 50s, 60s, Was kid here, we used to come around here too, walk around here. When we come past here and when you look at it now, it's just terrible.
The Douglas Daly is 200 kilometres south of Darwin. It's dotted with Indigenous sacred sites and is famous for its fishing and unique wildlife. But it's quickly becoming known as prime cotton growing country. In 2018, a ban on cotton was lifted in the Northern Territory. Massive stations, some double the land size of London, have been purchased and business is booming.
We've got a little bit stronger fibre this year.
Bruce Connolly was working on Cubby Station in southern Queensland. When drought hit, he moved north.
Once I experienced a couple of northern wet seasons, I realised that dryland cotton was going to be a very big player up here.
A full-size module sells for around $5,000. It's one of the most profitable crops right now. Cotton is traditionally very thirsty, but Bruce says the Territory's crop will be predominantly rain-fed and require minimal land clearing.
If you have all your ducks in a row by the time it starts raining, then your crop's in the ground and you get the benefit of that wet season rainfall on your crop, and the world is your oyster from there.
Paul Burke is spearheading the cotton expansion across the Territory. He predicts cotton will be a $200 million industry in the coming decade.
The flow-on effects to the port, the flow-on effects for road infrastructure will be significant.
So far, the industry has been hampered by the lack of a local processing facility. But Tarwoo Station will open the first local cotton gin this year.
I think cotton, it's a global commodity. Prices are really strong. I think cotton's here to stay for the long haul.
Not everyone is as optimistic about cotton's expansion in the Territory.
Yeah, it's a fairly big area over there to the left there.
Mike Harding runs a cattle station south of the Douglas Daly. He and his son-in-law Jeremy are concerned land is being cleared for cotton at an alarming rate, with little oversight.
When you take, say, the Amazon burning, we're all happy to sign petitions and get on Facebook about that, and we've got D10 dozers running over our native savanna landscapes here.
Irrigation in times of drought is also a worry.
My wife and I spent our life building up what we got, and without water, you just roll your swag.
If we sicken the landscape we will have to leave. We'll be climate refugees.
For 3 months, 730 has been investigating cotton farming in the NT. We've obtained evidence indicating land was cleared without a permit. 2 stations are being investigated by the NT government.
What we saw from about halfway through 2021 was this area here being cleared without a permit. And then
This is Kirsty Howie, the director of the Environment Centre NT. She's talking about Claravelle Farm.
So we received a tip-off from the Waggaman Rangers, who are also traditional owners of that country, who let us know that they'd observed a lot of trees felled very, very close to the Daly River.
The Daly River is a key waterway that snakes through the region. Using satellite technology, Kirsty's team discovered hundreds of hectares of land had been cleared without a permit between July and September 2021. After multiple complaints from the Environment Centre, the NT government launched an investigation.
To see it being destroyed in this way with very little recourse, with very little accountability, is just gobsmacking.
A permit to clear land was issued to Claravelle for part of the property on September 23, but the land had already been cleared. The department is investigating the other cleared land in the satellite imagery. The owners of Claravelle Farm did not respond to 730's inquiries or request for an interview. Tawu Station, where the cotton gin is being built, is also being investigated by the Department of Environment in relation to unlawful land clearing. 730 was unable to identify the owner or operator of the station. A representative declined a request to be interviewed. A third station, Ukaronage, was recently investigated by the Pastoral Land Board, the body responsible for issuing land permits. In November 2021, satellite images revealed almost 5,000 hectares had been burned and ploughed before the regulator's assessment was complete. 730 obtained a letter to the station from the Pastoral Land Board saying,
"The board considers the applicant and pastoral lessee's actions show disregard to the pastoral land clearing application process, and it is extremely disappointing that actions were taken to prepare land for clearing before the finalisation of the assessment process."
The case was dismissed on a technicality. The station did not receive any fines or sanctions. 730 made multiple attempts to reach the owners of Ukaronage Station, but did not receive a response.
I'm not against clearing and progressing our agricultural industry, but yeah, the old just rip it down and you'd rather plead forgiveness than ask permission. That's we've seen that before too.
The Northern Territory Government is unquestionably turning a blind eye to this activity. The Northern Territory Government is pursuing northern development at any cost, including to the environment.
The NT Environment Minister declined an interview. The NT Department of Environment said it could not comment on Tawu and Claravelle stations as they are currently being investigated. In March 2021, the Northern Territory Government slashed approval times for land clearing permits from 6 months to 6 weeks. The move was welcomed by industry, but rang alarm bells for local environmentalists.
Our tropical savannas are actually collapsing, technically. They meet the criteria of a collapsing ecosystem, and in fact our tropical savannas are the second most intensely collapsing ecosystem after the Great Barrier Reef. We have the highest rate of mammal extinction in the world, and things are looking pretty shaky for the nature of the Northern Territory right now.
It's been over a year since the government launched an investigation into land clearing at Tawu and Claravelle Station. No findings have yet been made.
The Northern Territory Government has a rigorous process to go through for achieving a land clearing permit. And whilst it's not easy, it's very appropriate. And I don't think anybody will be trying to do any illegal clearing. That's simple. I don't think they are.
It sounds like you're thinking that potentially the investigation won't turn up any wrongdoing. Is that what you're expecting?
No, I'm not expecting that at all. I'm expecting the government to be thorough. I'm expecting the government to be objective, and we'll abide by the umpire's decision like we always do. and will continue to advocate for a balance between really good environmental outcomes, but also some economic development for our region as well.
Local traditional owners and farmers who rely on the land are urging the government to get the balance right.
We're here to protect our country and plus our bush tucker, the animals out here. It's very important to us. And the main one is our river.
Our way of life, and it's yeah, you can take someone out somewhere and say, and it's just wow factor. I'd hate that to be lost in next generations.
30 years down the track, I don't want my son to look at me and say, could you have done more, Dad?